What's up, everybody? I'm Rory Scheepers with my co-host Brad Dougans, and you're listening to the S.R.A. Podcast, the show that talks about lifting, learning, growing, and everything in between. We are here for people who enjoy living their best lives while continually working at achieving their strongest bodies and minds. Today we are talking about the World Deadlift Championships with Chris Van De Linde. Chris is 2019 Africa's Strongest Man, a 2021 World's Strongest Man competitor, and the man who currently holds the biggest deadlift in Africa. He's also the only man to have deadlifted 1,000 pounds or 455 kilograms on the African continent. If you are interested in learning a bit more about Chris himself, his prep and training leading up to the World Deadlift Championships, then this episode is for you. If you'd like to see Chris compete against the best deadlifters on the planet and possibly attempt 505 kilograms for an all-time world deadlift record and the $55,000 that goes with it, look up Giants Live on Facebook as they will be streaming the event. Let's get to the action. Right, so here we are. We've got Chris on the line. We're really pleased to have you. Really keen to get going with this and get to know a little bit more about Chris. Obviously, I know Chris. I've met him a few times in the past. I haven't seen him for some while, and obviously things have been going on with you, Chris. I see your deadlifts come in leaps and bounds in the last couple of years, and it's so amazing to see that we've got these guys in Africa and South Africa especially that are right up there with the best in the world. You know, 1,000-pound deadlift a couple of years ago was just like almost like unheard of, you know, and now all of a sudden there's a few guys in the world, like 6 or 7 guys last year at the World Deadlift Championships, and now yourself. So we're just so keen to hear about, meet you for the guys that don't know you, and then just hear a bit about your training and see what we can take and what we can learn and how we can support you in your drive to get there and just put yourself out there on the world stage. So yeah, I mean, welcome. We're very pleased to have you, myself and Brad.
Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Obviously, like just from the beginning, and I know you and I've met you a few times, but just for the people out there, like tell us a little bit about Chris, the everyday guy. Like, what do you do for a living? Like all the stuff that people don't see on social media. We see your training. We know that you're a huge, big guy and you're really, really strong and you're past Africa's Strongest Man. So tell us a little bit about Chris himself. Like, what do you do for a living and family and something along those lines?
Yeah, no, perfect. All right. Chris Van De Linde, as you said, or the Ox. It's my alter ego. Yes, I'm 31 years old now. I live in Bloemfontein in the Free State, in the middle of South Africa. And attended school here, went to Central High School. It's a local school. Studied at the Technikon in Bloem. I'm a qualified construction manager. Although I do not do that anymore. I work for myself now to focus a bit more on my training and give myself some more time to become a better strongman and a better athlete. So what I do now is I've got a small patch of land that I do some farming on and work with my wife. We do catering and and I train. So that's about it. Not too much to say, a bit basic, but that's
but you see, this is the stuff that people like to know. Like they understand that you train hard and that you're in the gym all the time and you're really strong and you're this amazing strongman going to represent South Africa and Africa, in fact, at the World Deadlift Championships. So these are the type of things that the people like. You know, there's every who's got a wife and he's so yeah, that's really cool. I mean, just to take you back a little bit, who introduced you to strongman like right in the beginning? I know I met you quite early in your career.
Yes.
When you first started out, yourself and Raymond came to compete. So tell us a little bit about that.
So actually, I've been watching strongman since I won't say little, since I was about in high school, on the ESPN, Mariusz Pudzianowski, those guys. Everybody watched them. And then
the guys I know.
Exactly. So yeah, I used to play rugby, so didn't really see myself in that sort of sport in any way, because rugby is a team sport, it's not an individual sport. And but been going to the gym since I was 11. Not doing full-on weight training then, but going to the gym and seeing what's going on there and so forth. And then when I stopped playing rugby at 21, Raymond, one of my friends, introduced me to strongman.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just took it from there. There was a local comp hosted in Bloem. I remember we were so keen on deadlifting 300 kilograms.
Yeah.
And we actually pulled 310 on that comp, and we were stoked about that. So yeah, that's where it all started for me.
Yeah, so it's
And,
Raymond. It's Raymond's fault.
It's actually his
Raymond's fault
yes.
that you're an assaulting on the World Deadlift Championships. There, yeah, that's
Exactly,
good to know.
yeah. So yeah, that's where it all started. I think that's about 9 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I started out as strongman.
Yeah. And then, yeah, tell us a little bit about your stats. So how tall are you, and what's your body weight right now?
I actually thought about it before we started. I'm 185, so 1.85 meters, and my body weight is around about 186 kilograms. So I'm about as heavy as I am tall. So yeah, just
almost perfect combination. Yeah,
yeah. But my body weight it goes up and down. So yeah, but I'm usually around 180, 190, depending on the events that I'm going to do.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Yeah, well, you see, that's it's all part of the game, you know. These days in strongman, it's like there's quite a fine line between the guys that are really tall and can carry huge amounts of body weights, and the guys that are a bit shorter trying to have body weights to help them in certain events. And it's quite a fine line between being too thick and too big, which actually limits you, and being conditioned enough to be able to move really well for the moving events. So it's actually quite a fine line. And I found guys over the years of their competing, they go through these hills and troughs where they're like really heavy, and then they lose a bit of weight because they were a bit slow, and it's all about the learning. And I suppose that's what makes it more and more interesting for you as the athlete.
No, definitely. I'm heavy now because I'm doing a single deadlift event, so I need strength, and I believe that weight moves weight. And I mean, I don't have to run with the farmers now, so yeah, they can be heavy. Don't need to be too conditioned. But I pick up weight easily in any case. So yeah, pick up muscle quite easily. So yeah, it goes up and down, as you said.
For the guys who don't know much about strongman, how different is it to how different is your training to the training that you would see the everyday guy doing in the gym when it comes to deadlifting, squatting, things and so on? How does your training differ? Because I think a lot of people don't really understand the concept of strongman and what it is.
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of my training is actually bodybuilding training. I do that for accessory work, just for my joints, and I like it in any case. I'd say strongman, you need to do the events, and event training is quite strenuous on your body. I'm talking about farmer's walk, yoke walk, stuff like that, because it's not really something you can imitate in the gym. You need to feel how the weights will feel on your shoulders and the farmers will feel in your hands. And I just say that the rep ranges for me personally is different. I won't really go over 6 reps if I'm in
all of your training.
For my strength training, let me put it like that. For my bodybuilding training, accessory work, I'll go up into 12 reps, 4 sets of 12, but never over that. But I think the main thing with strongman is just it's more a mental thing than it is a physical thing. I think anybody can be strongman or strong, but I don't think a lot of people have the mental, I want to call it toughness to feel like a trainer's run you over.
And then you've still got to get up and train again the following day. Yeah,
exactly. And you need to eat.
Of course.
For me personally, the food is the most difficult. We can talk about training as much as we want, but to get all the food in.
This is exactly where I was going to ask you next. In fact, is you speak about anyone can be strong, anyone could be a strong man, but mentally, that's one aspect. But tell us more about the whole eating kind of thing, because I think that's where a lot of people get confused. It's like, wow, these guys are so big. Like, what's going on? Like, are you guys just, do you have to force feed yourselves? Are you guys taking in the surplus of calories for recovery? Explain that to us a little bit, if you don't mind.
Well, let me start at the beginning. When I just want to put this out there because I made a huge mistake when I started out. I thought the same thing. These guys are eating so much and they can eat what they want, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't really work like that. You still need to be healthy. You still need to get in good calories. You can't go to McDonald's and eat everything on the menu. It doesn't work like that.
Like everyone's dream.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you get lethargic with from all the fat and the toxins in the food. I'm not one of these people that's going to go on about what's in food, but you need to be healthy still. And the food is you expend so much energy whilst training, and just by moving around. I mean, I'm heavy, so for me to move around is a lot more work. For instance, you moving around, and the energy you expend needs to be refilled. Um, I've, I've got one of these watches that checks your calories, and in a bicep and back exercise or training session that was actually an accessory day for me, I burned 1,800 calories just in that session. So it's quite a lot. The more muscle you have, the more energy you expend.
Yeah.
So yeah, the food is just there to recover and to keep going and to put on muscle to
of course,
fuel your body.
Yeah, because muscle moves weight. And at the end of the day, if you're eating good quality calories, the sheer volume of food that you have to consume and the immense volume of the food on the plate becomes larger and larger rather than eating junk, you know. So I mean, and I'm pretty sure that makes it really, really difficult. It's like you're so fatigued after training, and now you're going to be fatigued with your jaw of trying to eat all this food as well, you know.
So, yeah, actually, a trick I have, I blend my food.
Oh gosh!
So yeah, I'm saying steak and rice.
Please don't tell me the stories are true about blending chicken and rice and then drinking it.
It is true. It is true.
It's true.
I've done that a couple of times. Yes, it's a lot easier than chewing all of that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Pro tip.
Yeah. Well, while we're on the subject of your training and nutrition and that, tell us a little bit about your coach. I know that you coached by Quentin Hendricks. Is that right? Tell us a little bit about him and a little bit about what he does for you and how he helps you and how he sends you programs and that type of thing. And just to give him a little bit of a punt, and then get more people to know who he is and what he does for you.
Yeah, no, awesome. Yeah, well, Quentin, I've actually got two coaches. So Quentin is part of my team, more in a nutritional and I'd say mental capacity. Mentally, for me, if I have issues, I know I can 12 o'clock at night, I can call Quentin and say, listen, Quentin, I'm going mad. Please help me out with this and this and this.
Yes.
And then Werner Dreyer from One More Fitness is part of my team as well, on a more technical side for my lifting. He's got quite a good eye for technical stuff, which I can't see if I'm deadlifting myself.
Of course.
But getting back to Quentin, I met Quentin in 2020 or 2019. I think in 2019, I started out with him. He, like I said, he does my nutrition, and he sends me eating plans and so forth. And then we work quite closely together just to get everything sorted out, get everything balanced out, because it's a hit and a miss. There's no plan for one guy, and my plan, especially at the start, it changed quite a lot. But now we've got like a baseline plan we're working from, and it's small tweaks now. He always he tells me that I must just remember the as soon as you get your baseline program sorted, the small tweaks will make a bigger difference, and your body gets so used to what you're doing, and like zoned in on what's happening inside your body. That small stuff makes huge differences. So yeah, Quentin is actually he's more on the bodybuilding side, but when it comes to nutrition supplementation, I think he's a, I don't want to call him a wizard, but yeah, he does magic.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what you need. You need people on your team like that. And then Werner, I know he manufactures gym equipment, and he's quite, like you said, he's quite versed in the gym in terms of training and stuff like that. Tell us a bit about One More Fitness and about how he helps you out in the gym.
Yeah, so One More Fitness, as you mentioned, makes gym equipment. I think they're some of the best in the country. I know he's been exporting as well, and he makes stuff that's more, I don't want to call it old school, but more like Louis Simmons squats, swing squats. Stuff like that, and stuff that I find very beneficial within my training program. You don't see a commercial gym with a belt squat in it, and it's quite a good piece of equipment to isolate muscles, and especially for me for deadlift. I'll get to that now how I see my deadlifts. But yeah, Werner, like I said, he's technical, so if I have a big session coming on, I'll get Werner, listen, come please help me, assist me, and we'll take some videos, stuff like that, and then he'll analyze my videos for me. And like I mentioned, I'm not technical, so I'll see, listen, this felt funny or this felt funny, and then he'll actually go to the video, go and have a look at the video, and he'll see, but listen, your foot was a bit off, or hips didn't fire correctly, or etc. etc. etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, to have him part of my team, and he is in Bloemfontein as well, makes a huge difference. Quinton is in Heidelberg, up in Joburg,
Okay.
or Gauteng. We communicate more via WhatsApp and via calls and stuff like that. So it makes it more difficult because he's not there with you. But yeah, we all do our part and we work together. I mean, I cannot do this without a team.
Of course, yeah.
And I just want to mention as well, my wife is part of my team as well.
Oh,
don't say that one.
Yeah, don't forget that part. And it's actually really important if you've got, like if you're in a great relationship and you've got somebody who supports you all the way, it's just it just helps recovery. It helps all sorts of things. So I look at some of these guys out there that they're single and they're living the life, which sounds great from the outside, but at the end of the day, what you need that support structure, and you need somebody at home to be there for you, and just to, and then there's those days when you want to recover and you just want to chill and you just want to do nothing and you just want to feel like you just feel like you can just sit down and just be loved and recover. So I think it's so important. A lot of guys forget that, so it's all great when you're high and mighty and this great big strong man, but the family is as important as anything when it comes to the recovery, the training, and all that.
Definitely. So, I think actually more important.
More important than most people realize.
So if I need a back scratch, I need my wife to do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
No, definitely. No, she's a pillar in my career, definitely.
Yeah. No, well, great. Tell us a little bit. Obviously, we're still talking about your training and nutrition and that. Tell us a little bit about your peaking cycle and what you've been doing differently towards this World Deadlift Championships. Obviously, like we mentioned a bit earlier, Chris is representing South Africa, and in fact, he's representing Africa as well in the World Deadlift Championships, which is in a couple of weeks. It's actually in 2 weeks' time, right, Chris?
Yeah, it's now.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your training in the last a couple of weeks. I'm sure everybody would be very interested to know how your peaking cycle's gone, and just give us a basic outline of what would a deadlift session look like in the last few weeks leading up to the comp, and just give us a bit of insight as to what goes on other than what we can see on social media.
All right, no, cool, will do. Let's start with nutrition. I think for this whole cycle, I started about 10 weeks out from comp date. Actually, before I got the invite, I started prepping for the show. I believe I will get the invite, but yeah.
That's exactly how it's done.
Yeah, definitely. My food, my calories went a little bit up, but not a lot. I've got like a baseline program, as I mentioned.
And what is that now? What is your calorie count?
Yeah, are you allowed to give us some insight into that?
Yeah.
I can't give you too much, But yeah, calorie count is now around about 7,500 to 8,000 calories. It will depend on my training days.
Yes.
For a heavy deadlift session, I will eat a bit more, and I will follow my body, how my body feels and how it's reacting to the food. If I feel I am hungry, I will speak to Quinton and we will add something maybe just for that day or two, and just to get my body to recover and feel better.
Yeah.
As you grow older in the sport, you learn to listen to your body a bit more, and you get like zoned in with your body and more like what the correct word is, like more in zen or more in touch with your body. So I know when I need something, and luckily with Quinton, we know each other now as well. So he can tell me, listen, but it's either this or this. And then I try that and it's sorted out. For training wise, I actually had my last heavy deadlift session just yesterday, Saturday. It went quite good. I'm happy with where I'm at. And I'm about 85% of my PB I want to reach. So the way I do my training is I work towards the PB I want, where I want to be. So my PB now is 455. I don't work according to that. I work to 505. So I work my percentages out towards 505.
Yeah.
So I actually changed that a couple of years ago, and it worked quite well for me. Or it works quite well for me. And so yeah, I'm like I said, I'm about 85% now of my projected PB where I want to be. And the last couple of weeks, we started around about 70%, and we built it up from there. Every week or a couple of weeks, we changed the percentages. And I don't really. I work according to percentages for like I mentioned. I don't care what the weight is. If it's 400 or 300, it doesn't matter to me. It will be what the percentage needs to be. And if I don't hit that percentage, it will carry over to the next week up until I get that percentage. I like doing reps on that percentage, but for now it's a bit heavy for me to do reps. I feel it's a bit heavy to do reps safely, so I'm not doing reps at this stage. I'll rather drop back to, let's say, 75%, and I'll do reps on that weight.
Yeah,
and then going on 85% and doing reps there. And a deadlift session for me, it will start out with like resetting my body. We call it an NPR. I can't remember what the name is now, what it stands for, but it's
like a performance reset. It's just when
thank you, Rory.
Yeah.
So we start off with that, and I'll start off with a bit of belly breathing, with my hands on my psoas, just getting zoned out, getting everything in sync and everything in the zone. Then I'll do my RPR stuff, do all my switching on everything, all the pressure points, do some stretches after that. And then I'll start with my deadlifts. I like to start light. Werner doesn't like me to start light, but I like to start light. So I'll start with like the 120 and doing a couple of reps of that. But then I'll do like more RDL reps, so more straight leg deadlift reps, just to get the hammies firing. And then from there, I do 50 kilogram jumps up until I get where I need to be. And that's about it. It's nothing major, nothing big, nothing fancy. It's basic. I think that's where a lot of the guys wants to make it difficult. They want to make it something special, and I don't think it is. It's basic.
Overcomplicated a little.
Yes, exactly. To me, strength training is very basic. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing complicated about it. If you do stuff you need to do consistently, you'll get where you need to be. Deadlift session for me, especially now, it's long sessions. I think my sessions now, it's 2.5 hours, around about there. The only reason for that is I introduced a suit, and the first time now training with a suit.
How's that been going, Chris? Because this is going to be your first comp with the suit on, is that correct?
Yes, it is. I quite like the suit, to be honest. The suit fits well. I'm very glad about that, because I had made that custom made from Finland. So when it got here, then I had to fit it. The suit it's difficult to get used to. I won't lie about that. But no, at this stage, I feel comfortable in the suit, and it makes a huge difference. I mean, I can do a 380, 400 deadlift without my belt on, and I don't need my belt on. And for me, that is quite a big thing, because I always, without the suit, let's say from 300, I used to put my belt on, because then I started needing my belt. But now 380 for me, it's like a warm-up weight without my belt. Over the weekend, I did 410 without my belt easily. So the suit it's a good thing. I think it will make a big difference for me. But I'm also glad that I started without the suit, and I've got as far as I have without the suit. Because in my opinion, a deadlift suit forces you to deadlift in a certain way. And it forces your technique into a certain direction. And I believe my technique is better because I started out without the suit.
Yeah.
If I can explain you a bit more what I mean about that is, when I deadlift, I go down very deep and very low. So I start from the bottom, and then I try to squat the weight up. With a deadlift suit, you cannot do that, because the deadlift suit is putting you up. And I think then a lot of guys start getting lazy. They don't want to force themselves down, because it is very uncomfortable being down there with a suit on.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference for me when I deadlift.
And there's something about the feeling of the suit. It's nice and tight around your legs and your hips and your shoulders. So there's something nice about the feeling like you have the support, but it does pull you into an awkward position. So during a deadlift, we don't want your shoulders to be rounded out, but of course the straps are pulling your shoulders around. So a lot of people, like you say, they get lazy. They don't want to fight the suit. They just want to kind of find a comfortable starting position and then just grip and rip. It doesn't really work like that. And I feel like you're 100% on the money if you've been tweaking your technique time and time again without a suit and just working on being in the perfect starting position. And then you put a suit on, your body doesn't know any other way.
Exactly.
So you fight the suit, you get yourself into the right position, and then the suit can really help you. So yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. A lot of people just kind of go with the flow, and when the suit pulls them in a certain position, they just kind of go with it. But I think obviously you've been doing this for a long time, so you've got a much better understanding of the lift. So you understand why you need to be in a certain starting position, and you'll fight the suit to get into that position. And that's when the suit is really worth the money.
Yeah, no,
So,
definitely.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm very keen to see what happens as we go along, you know?
No, for sure. That's just about fighting patterns. For me, it's about fighting patterns. And if you don't have the correct fighting pattern, you're screwed. Because deadlift is not a lower back exercise. It's not a back exercise. For me, it's 100%. Not even a hamstring exercise. It's a glute exercise.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. But but people can differ. That's my technique.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's one thing in our industry. There's no set gold standard technique that everybody adheres to. Everybody's got their own basic ideas. And although it sounds like from the outside, it sounds like a real simple movement, right? You just bend down and pick the bar. Oh, that's pretty simple. But like anything, the more you know, the more you get to know, and the more you realize there is to learn. And this is how it goes, and it continues, until the end of time, I'm sure. And you can just see, like in the last couple of years, the guys have just carried forth technique, and the deadlift weights have just gone up and up and up over the years. And to me, it's just about understanding the movement a lot better and understanding what it is that you're expected to do. And then the better understanding you have, the more you can train your accessory work to complement that. And that's
exactly.
So I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, like I watched your 1,000-pound pull with no suit on, and there's very, very few guys in the world that have ever been able to do that.
I think it's me at Eddie Hall, just to
so looking at that was something really special. And now, like, going to the World Deadlift Championships, I mean, like that was going to be my next question. So before we even get to talking about the comp itself, I know that you didn't get an invite straight away, and then you ran your own little campaign to try and get yourself to the World Deadlift Championships. And obviously, all of us in Africa were behind you 150% because we want you there, right? And we know that you're more than strong enough to be there. I know sometimes the guys in Europe, we kind of get overlooked sometimes, maybe because we're so far away, and it's difficult for people from South Africa to get to England and the US because of the visas and all that type of stuff. But tell us a little bit about your campaign. I know you did a little stint on social media, and then everybody backed you. And obviously the guys at Giants Love, they heard you, and you got an invite. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, firstly, just want to say thank you to everybody for backing me. I appreciate it. The amount of support I've gotten, even now, still, it's crazy, and it makes me so happy to be a South African and to see everybody like pitching in and listen, let's get the boy to there, and it's cool, it's awesome. Yeah. I just felt what I said in my video. I was on my way to the gym. I started my prep without an invite. And I actually just thought, listen, I need to speak up. I need to say what I want to say, what I feel I have to say, and take it from there. I believed in my heart I will get an invite because I believe I deserved an invite, and I don't mean that like in an arrogant way. It's just I've worked for it, and
you're strong enough to be there, you know.
Exactly. So yeah, and then did my video, got my invite, and that's the end of the story. I mean, there's not much to tell. It's actually the people that got me there. I was just voicing what I was thinking and what I was feeling. So yeah, as we say, we get overlooked, but I think we're starting to change that. The guys are getting on a better level, and thank you for everybody. Thank you.
I'm really glad you did that, Chris, to be honest, because that was the first time I saw you. I think Rory actually shared your post. I think you were sitting in your car and you sat down and you said, right, guys, listen, I feel like this is somewhere I should be. And after that, I went straight to your social media profile, went and had a look through everything. So yes, it's the people that have got you there, but it was you stepping out that actually got you there, and standing up for what you think you deserve, which is amazing, dude.
Yeah, no, thank you. And it's out of my character. I'm not like that. I'm the quiet guy. Just saying, listen, no, it's fine. I'm that guy. Yeah, like I said, I was sitting in my car before the gym, and I was like, you're going into the gym, going to train now again, working for what you want to achieve, but you're not getting it. So let's say something about it.
Yeah, that's how I know you, Chris. I know you as the guy that's zero talk, only action.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's no, but that's, I'm so glad it's just worked out, and now we're all going to be backing you 100%. So tell us a little bit about the comp. Like, when do you fly out, and who's going with you? And how long do you get there before the comp? And what are you expecting? I mean, obviously it's a very difficult question because you have no idea what to expect. But so tell us a bit about that.
All right, I just need to say this as well. We had a stress about our visas. You mentioned it now.
God.
It was a bit earlier. And with the lady that assisted us with the visa, she's like, no, but the Ukrainians are being, they're getting like, what's the word now? Priority above any other visa applications. And the visas can take 12 weeks. And I mean, we're sitting on 7 weeks. So I was like, listen, let's just believe.
No, please, no.
And we actually got our visas like a couple of weeks back. I think like a week and a half back, we got our visas and it's approved and everything. So that's quite cool. We've got that sorted out. So my wife is going with me, obviously. Number one supporter, number one fan. Without her, I can't do this. We are flying August, so it will be Monday within a week's time. And it's about a week before the comp. The comp is on the 6th of August.
Oh, good.
So we're landing there on the 2nd early in the morning. We'll still spend a couple of days in England and around London. And then on the 4th, I will be in Cardiff, in Wales. And then from there, I've never been to the UK. So then I'll see what's going on there.
Yeah.
And just for my expectations for the comp, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome. I just checked the Royal Albert Hall shows on Facebook, and I see the guys are hyping it up, and it's huge. So I'm looking forward to just having that feeling. All of those people like cheering for you and there to see what you can do. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know what to expect, but I'll just take it from there, and we'll see what happens. What I've done, I'm running the lifts over in my head, but I'm struggling to get myself in that mindset because I don't know how it looks there. I don't know how it's going to feel. I know nothing. So everything's just in my mind. It's just like dark around me, and I'm just me lifting with a big light on me, and that's it. So that's where I'm at.
I'll take you a bet that there's going to be a big group of South African people that have immigrated to the UK, and you're going to have a whole lot of supporters you never knew you had, sitting in the stands there. So it's going to be cool. And then there's obviously a live feed, and I see that you did share it on your social media. So for anybody watching, if you guys don't follow Chris, give him a follow. Look at the information about the live feed, and we're going to get behind you, and we're going to watch you, and we're going to be shouting from a long way away, but you'll feel us. You'll feel our presence,
perfect.
So,
that's awesome.
Chris, if you don't mind, so how do you take your coaches across with you? Obviously, you said they're not going with you. It's going to be yourself and your wife. You're obviously still going to be in touch with your coaches whilst you're there. And then, so kind of a double-barrel question. How do you work with them over the course of the day? I mean, if you have your event, let's say at 10 o'clock, excuse my ignorance if this is not how it works, but you have your event at 10 o'clock, are you then on the phone to them saying, hey, listen, that was a big one. I need to look at upping my calories so that you're ready for your next lifts? Or, how does that play out for you when you're there? What does that day look like in terms of lifting, making sure you're recovered, making sure you're hydrated, making sure you've got everything with you? If you can run us through that.
Perfect. So luckily with social media and with WhatsApp, it's easy to stay in contact. WhatsApp calls, when I was in the States last year, it's easy. It's like real-time calling. So if there's really something major, I will give them a call on WhatsApp and we'll just chat about it, chat it out. But I think mostly my wife stays in contact with my coaches. She lets them know what's going on because I speak to her. At the competition itself, I try to be really focused and I'm quiet. I don't like a lot of hype around me when I'm starting to focus on what I need to do now. But I've got my set plan. We've been working closely with each other, me and my coaches now, for quite some time. They've taught me what I need to know about my body that they've accumulated over the years, like information. So if I've got a set plan, and that plan, I try not to change that plan because that plan is what's working for me. Whether it's stretching, whether it's eating, whether it's doing whatever, I've got a plan and I stick to that plan as far as possible. But if there is changes, I know how to do the changes because we have run through a couple of scenarios and we just take it from there. I try not to do anything major, anything weird on comp day. I think it's foolish to all of a sudden go and change what you've been doing for the past couple of 8 weeks, or actually for me now, years that I've been doing the same thing over and over and over. So yeah, no, if there's anything major, it will be a quick call on WhatsApp, but otherwise it will be me and my wife and it'll be it. There's no, I don't want to say interference. There's no real communication between me and them when I'm at the comp. Even when I'm in South Africa as well, Werner will come and he will do my activations, and that will be it. From there, I'll put my earphones in, I'll carry on, I'll do my own thing.
Chris, just obviously the podcast being the SRA podcast, standing for stimulus, recovery, and then to adapt to that stimulus. Recovery is something I'm big on, and it's something I've really been wanting to ask you. So we might go back to when we were chatting about training and nutrition. What other modes or modalities do you use to recover? You mentioned stretching. Is that in your daily routine? Are you going for treatment regularly? Are you using saunas? Are you using ice baths? Are you using, or is it strictly just your training, your nutrition, and your rest?
No, recovery for me is quite a big thing as well, especially in strongman, because you're putting your body through such abuse, because picking up heavy weights all the time.
That's a perfect word for it.
So yeah, no, recovery for me is very important. I like ice baths a lot. We stay across from a school in Bloem, and I've made a deal with them that I can use their swimming pool for an ice bath. So I go early in the mornings when the ripe is still fresh on the grass. I get in the pool, a couple of minutes, and then I'll get out, come get a nice hot shower, and that will be it. I'm quite big on Epsom salt baths, but not at most twice a week, because I have if I do it too lot, I feel sick due to the salts and stuff. So I have quite like twice a week, and not too much salt as well. I've been fortunate enough for this prep to have a physio as part of my team as well, and I think she will stay as part of my team now. She comes to my house. We do sport massages wherever I have issues. We've obviously been focusing now on my legs, just to get my quads and my hammies rested and recovered. I don't really have issues with my glutes at this stage. So yeah, she's been a major help, and especially with the suit as well, because you need to be more supple with the suit, because you need to keep your legs straight. Yeah. She's been quite a help with that. But with all of, and I think you need to put all of those stuff together to get a good recovery plan going, and then rest. Nothing beats rest and recovery and sleep. I've seen if I don't get enough sleep, apart from being cranky, you can't perform, and your mind is not where it's supposed to be. actually had a quite interesting discussion with the biokineticist a couple of weeks back as well, and he spoke about just letting your mind rest as well, because all of this is hyped up, and I'm putting stress on myself, on my body, yes, but I'm putting stress on my mind as well. And from a mental aspect, I've never really thought about it, give my mind a rest. So what I will do for that, I'll just go for walks, put some music in my ears, just go for a walk, just relax on an active recovery day. Instead of going to the gym, I'll just take a walk outside and just let your mind wander, let your mind go. And that's made a big difference for me as well, because all of the strain on your mind affects your body. So,
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just obviously we're talking about the World Deadlift Championships and all of that, and we're just going to briefly touch on, I just wanted to jump back a little and just talk about the World's Strongest Man 2021. And just, what did you learn from your time there? How was the experience? Was it all that you expected it to be? Just give us a bit of insight, because with the World's Strongest Man, it's quite difficult because they film it and they only show it a long time after it's filmed.
Afterwards.
And we don't get to see much. So tell us a little bit about it, and was it everything that you thought it would be, and did you enjoy it, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, no, I think World's Strongest Man was actually a lot more than I thought it would be. It's been a dream since I started with Strongman, to compete at the World's Strongest Man. When I got the invite, I was actually working in Richards Bay, and I was just flooded with emotion when I got the invite, because it was one of the best moments of my life.
Yeah.
To have everything you've been working for actually getting dividends, getting something back from it. But as you mentioned, the cameras and all of that stuff, it's something to get used to. But the guys are the athletes, it's a main priority. So everybody's looking after the athletes at World's Strongest Man. And any issues the athletes have, it's sorted out by the team there. Unfortunately, I got sick. I did compete, so at least I got my t-shirts, and I deserve them because I did some of the events. But World's Strongest Man, it's an amazing experience. I think, from everything I've done the Arnold's, etc. as well in South Africa, but World's Strongest Man is just on another level. I can't really explain it to anybody. What I've learned there is the travel. It was in America. I think my total flight time was like 22 hours, because I needed to go to Germany, and then from there to San Francisco. Just travel is quite a big thing, and it's quite hard on your body as well. You need to mentally prepare yourself for being on an airplane for that long, and being the size that I am, sitting on an airplane it's uncomfortable. It's not something I really would want to do. I'll spend 22 hours in a car way better before I do it on an airplane. But everybody's, it's like I said, looking after the athletes. They have physios there, they have all of that stuff there. So when you get there, they sort you out quickly. And just to focus on what you're eating and what you're getting into your body whilst being at the airport, on the airplane, all of that stuff, and getting enough sleep in. I think that's a major thing, what I saw from the other guys, because I got some of the guys from Graham Hicks. I got him in Germany, and he had his CPAP with him on the airplane. I was like, what, can you put a CPAP on the airplane? I didn't know that, but I know that now. So now I use a CPAP. I need to use a CPAP. Being 180 kilograms, 186 kilograms, it gets quite difficult to breathe when you lay down. But now I can use my CPAP when I'm going to England, and that will make a huge difference, because I'll actually get quality sleep in on the airplane. And asking the air hostesses for more food, they actually give you more food if you ask them. Just say, listen, this is what we're doing. That's what I'm looking like this. And
I don't think she's going to say no to you, dude.
No problem, buddy.
She's definitely not going to say no to You've had enough.
So it's small stuff like that you learn, and just to manage your time and your energy better, especially in an event like that. That's not to expect too much from yourself. And I'm just getting back to mental toughness and mental health, getting that sorted out, and not using all that up because then you can't do anything. If you're mentally not there, your body won't do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but World's Strongest Man was awesome. I'd love to go again.
Yeah.
No.
And we're pretty sure you're gonna have another chance at that. I'm quite sure of that. So yeah. Like, we really appreciate that you'd go out of your way, especially like your Sunday afternoon, to give us a bit of your time so we can just learn a little bit more about you. Like, we really appreciate that.
I honestly appreciate it. You guys spending your time on me. For me, it's crazy. It's awesome.
No,
so,
well,
thank you very much for that.
Yeah. Well, I think, like, just from our side, it's like I was saying to Brad, you know, like, we're trying to start, we're getting going with this podcast, and we just wanted somebody that I know personally that's just a great person, not just a great athlete. So you're a great person, great guy. And just like, you know, and obviously everybody listening, like, we really appreciate you listening, and just to whatever support we can get for our podcast, of course. And then for Chris, you know, like, we want to get behind him, and we want to make sure that he does well. Like, I believe 100% that you are one of the strongest deadlifters in the world. You are without a doubt the strongest deadlifter that Africa has ever seen. And you have pulled the biggest deadlift in Africa ever, not right now. We're talking about ever. And on top of that, you know, in my opinion, 1,000-pound pull with no deadlift suit, I mean, that's just something amazing, you know. So, you know, like, we're behind you 100%. I know, and I've seen the work over the years that you've put in, and just grinding away and just putting your head down, and like I mentioned, not saying too much, just getting the work done and showing people what you're actually capable of. So now it's just, go out there, and, like, most importantly, just get there. Luckily, there's only a 1 hour time difference between here and London, and just enjoying it, man. Like, just, you know, these are the memories you're going to look back on in 10 years, and you're going to think, like, I mean, remember that, remember we did this, remember we went here and we were in, you know, Cardiff and doing the World Deadlift Championships, and these are the things. And for me, I believe this is the start for you. So this is going to be part of your memories, not the whole memories. This is going to be part of it. And so just give a little punt to your sponsors and guys, some people that you'd like to mention. And obviously your wife is number one, and we know that. And just about the sponsors, you know, like, so just let people know how they can get in touch with people like Vanna, who, you know, you mentioned a little bit about One More Fitness Systems. You know, I believe from where he started a few years ago to where he is now, it's like a whole different business. And I love the look of his equipment. Like, it's really good. And he looks like the type of guy that really just enjoys what he does and just gets stuck in there and builds good quality, hardy equipment, which is exactly right up my alley, like, when it comes to training. And I know Brad and I are very similar in terms of the equipment we like to utilize. So yeah, tell us a bit about your sponsors, punt them a little, and let's get them some coverage as well.
Awesome, thank you. Right, yeah, like I said, I mentioned Quentin Hendricks from Superboy, doing my nutrition, my looking after my health, and doing some of my training as well, but not too much. And you guys can give him a follow on Instagram, just Quentin Hendricks or Superboy. Give him a shout and let him help you. He's taken me from being average to being a pro athlete. So yeah, I think he knows what he's doing. And if you have a look at where I came from, where I'm at now, and where I'm only starting at now, I think he's quite good at what he's doing. And then my second sponsor, or part of my team, is Werner Dreyer from One More Fitness Systems. Builds the best gym equipment in the world, according to me.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. We actually have a piece of his equipment in our gym now, and it's
everybody has.
Yeah.
You must get some more.
We will.
So yeah, give him a shout as well on Instagram or Facebook, One More Fitness Systems. Have a look at his website, just One More Fitness Systems.co.za. And if there's anything custom you need from him, give him a shout. He can do everything you guys need. And my physio that's assisting me now and will assist me in the future is Lene Lessing. She's on Instagram as well, just Lene Lessing. Give her a shout. She's amazing. She knows what she's doing, and she's working with me. And I'm not an average person, so she needed to adapt a bit, get all the stuff done that she needs to do.
There's very little average about you, Chris. There's very little average about you.
No, definitely. So yeah, a session for her with me is like a gym session for her. So yeah, if there's anything you need from her, give her a shout as well. And thank you everybody for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah,
it's been awesome.
Yeah, and just as a last thing, is there anything that you just say to our listeners? Just like a little just something you'd like to say about, what got you here, and like in terms of, like you mentioned earlier, just grit and just getting stuck in there and doing, believing in yourself and that type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think the main thing that I would just like to tell everybody is stay consistent. Believe in what you're doing and stay consistent in what you're doing, and just believe in yourself. I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. And consistency is key. I cannot put that or enough emphasis on that. Stay consistent. That's all.
Yeah. Just stay in for the long game.
That's it. That's what you need to do if you want to be strong.
No, well, 100%. Well, again, thank you so much for your time, Chris. We're going to be following you very closely. We're going to be shouting from all over the world for you, including here in the Cayman Islands. But yeah, enjoy, and I'm sure we'll get to chat again soon. After the comp, we might do a little chat about it afterwards, and when you're holding up the trophy nice and high. And so thanks so much for your time, and we'll let you get on with the rest of your Sunday. But thank you very much.
Thanks, Rory. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it. Enjoy, guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, cheers.